Alrighty. Howdy Neighbors and welcome back to the Groom of Gallagher Mansion. Last time what were we doing? We woke up, we found a whole bunch of exposition, and now we're planning a wedding, so you know what? Valid. We're trying to pick flowers for our bouquet, and I thought about it, and also got tips from the comments, so I'm gonna go with the rose. The rose is always a classic choice. Red means love, yes?
Red on a rose means true love, undying love, eternal love.
That's about right. Taylor's had me flick through a few books on flower language over the years, hoping we could lure out some ghosts with the right blooms. But I can never keep the meaning straight in my head. Maybe Elias was the type, but roses were easy. Would he know more? Yeah, I think it's the perfect choice for us then. Do I have a vase?
Of course.
With the flick of the wrist, a pile of dust on the other side of the room collapses, and his grass yields a perfectly clean, nearly translucent glass vase.
Acceptable?
Oh, much more than acceptable. It's something to cut the flowers. Oh, and gloves to handle the thorns.
Of course.
He provides me with the tools, and I set to work. Do I need to trim the stems before putting them in a vase? I think there was a trick to remove the thorns. If I knew it, it's long gone.
Careful. Simply go slowly, and the rose will happily let its guard drop.
I guide the knife he provided slowly up the stem, as parallel as possible. And when the blade hits the thorns, it cuts through like butter.
There you are. See? Not a thing to be afraid of. Not a moment that needs to be rushed.
This whole day has been a rush, hasn't it? Sure, in a sense of, I've literally met a ghost yes trying, but also, all the pressure. I had less than 48 hours to prepare for my own wedding, even if it was fake. All the sudden research, all the desperate planning, and not a breath in between. My hand slows to a crawl as I savor the moment, burning each thorn one by one. They fall to the greenhouse floor, decorating the tile with reddish-green points. Eventually, there are no more thorns to prune. Add another rose to the vase. Maybe it looks okay, then another.
Splendid! Now, did you have thoughts on accoutrements? Accent flowers, that is.
Right. It's just a half-dozen roses, not a full bouquet. I had a thought about it. If Elias sat in flowers, would you suggest some for us to use?
My pleasure and my honor.
I could imagine.
First, some baby's breath.
Fake the flower language. If you get it right, he'll be happy. If you get it wrong, he'll have the joy of correcting you.
Taylor's voice hisses in my ear. Baby's breath. That's something about youth, correct?
In this bouquet, more a symbol of innocence and purity.
Oh. I hope he doesn't get weird about purity, because I definitely cannot meet Victorian standards.
They work stunningly when used sparingly. One may expect that their small size must be bolstered by great numbers, but that's simply not true.
I try to take his advice. The little white flowers slip between the roses, resting like snowflakes suspended mid-fall. Elias could make roses bloom in winter, couldn't he? I think about what an odd wedding that would be, but his hands continue to guide mine, raising the baby's breath up a smidge.
Do you see how that little bit of elevation gives the whole bouquet a sense of dynamism? Personality.
How much is a smidge? Here?
Here.
He reaches out and his hand flows through the stems, the petals, and through my fingers, lifting my hand along with the flowers ever so gently.
Just like that.
And would we like more flowers in this bouquet? I feel like you need some greenery.
Yes, I think so. What would you say to lemon balm?
I'd ask how closely related they are to lemons.
There's Taylor with the snark again, of course.
Only some leaves, green and small. Perfect for filling in the gaps and adding a rich aroma.
If they mean something about sweetness, probably best not to ask about sourness.
Sympathy and compassion. Though speaking of sweetness, these leaves do make a nice tea.
Oh, perhaps you could brew us a few cups when we're done here.
Oh, what an excellent idea. Yes, I think we shall have that lemon balm tea.
Alright, let's save some of these for the kettle. Tuck some leaves around the edge of the vase, and following Eliza's suggestion with the baby's breath, I make sure to raise some up too. Try to keep it beneath the more exciting flowers, but every now and then I make sure a few of the little buds of baby's breath barely peek out from the bottoms of the lemon balm. Elias watches me with a polite smile, the same one I've seen so many times now, but a dusted brighter, giving him away again. This time he's trying to downplay his joy. Would you like to help arrange?
I would love to.
And Elias returns his hands to the vase, carefully making sure that that what he adds complements what I've composed. I've never done this before, even though I've never looked so closely at a bouquet. I could tell what I've touched and what he's touched. And honestly, altogether it looks pretty good.
Lovely.
Thank you.
I think one last flower. And you should choose, my dear.
I feel like we're good. We have 2 flowers and we have greenery. I feel like that's okay. There'll be 2 different flowers. One of flat, delicate yellow petals. Another with thin, wispy strands of purple. I don't recognize either. Okay, so what do we have? We have red, we have white, and we have green. But it was my choice again. I choose to savor it, roll the flowers around my hand, and let them delight me. Why not? I don't have to understand their meanings to find them beautiful. The yellow ones, I guess we don't get to choose.
The yarrow. Excellent.
I admit that I'm unfamiliar with these.
A symbol of everlasting love.
Again.
I chose everlasting love twice. Double eternity. Don't have to think about it. They're only flowers after all. Elias and I return our hands to the bouquet, adding the final touches.
The flowers look absolutely gorgeous, my dear. But still nowhere near as lovely as you.
Thank you. Thank you, Elias. I can feel my heart hammering in my chest. These plants, innocent little flowers. Flowers with too many meanings, too many promises.
Is something the matter, dearest? You look a bit pale.
I must admit that I am a bit tired. Would it be alright for me to rest a little bit before we continue preparing for the ceremony?
Of course. You mustn't exert yourself too much. Please feel free to choose any room on the ground floor. Though, you'll have to excuse the state of disarray it may be in.
Thank you, my love.
And do not worry about the mess here. I shall clean up and rejoin you after I check something in the study.
Elias bows as I turn to leave the greenhouse. His steps feel heavy as I return to the hallway. I wasn't expecting floral arrangements to be that intense.
Hey, are you doing all right now?
I'll live.
Might be time to see what you can get up to before your rendezvous with Elias.
I nod my head, as if Taylor could somehow see me through the earpiece. I do that all the time. I sit and I nod and I do facial expressions and I realize I don't own a camera. So it doesn't matter. Back to where it all began. The dust isn't so thick now. Well, it doesn't look all too fabulous compared to the rest of the place. It does look a little less inviting. Hey, you remember that painting I mentioned before in the foyer?
On the 2nd floor. Yep. What about it?
I think I can make out a few of the details better now. Maybe you can get a pic of it. Just so I foot on the first step and angle my camera up to snap a photo of the frame. When the deed is done, I text it to Taylor. There you go. If I had to hazard a guess, then this style of painting would be Impressionism. It was all the rage in the late 19th century, so it fit the timeline. Know anything about the subject?
It's probably a portrait of one of the Gallagher ladies. What better way to flaunt wealth and status than by paying someone to preserve your likeness with expensive materials?
As I went to the photo, I took and studied the details. I assume Taylor's doing the same. Those earrings and necklace. The size of the ring too, damn! That's too rich for my blood.
Probably the precious family jewels Elias was telling you about.
Taylor snickers. I roll my eyes with a groan.
Anyways, I'll look into this and see if I can get an exact match for who it might be. Keep hunting around?
Roger that. Pick one of the many doors in the foyer and swing it open. Wincing a little at how badly it needs to be oiled. Elias wasn't kidding when he said that some of the rooms would be in disarray. Definitely doesn't look as nice as study. I think this is a living room, or a lounge. There's couches, at least. The patterns are worn off them. The material is torn open in a few places. I run my hand along the back of the love seat.
Anything interesting there?
Aside from the couches, there's a rocking chair, a mounted deer head, a painting of a building, a grandfather clock, and a bookshelf. Elias hasn't worked his magic here, so it's a bit decrepit. I'll investigate everything else before I take a look at the books. I wouldn't even know where to begin with that anyway. Boop. Ba-doop. Look at the deer. I walk over to the mounted deer head and peer into its soulless, long-dead eyes. Taxidermy always freaked me out as a kid, and that never changed as I got older. The Gallagher men liked to hunt for sport, didn't they?
All of them but Elias.
My interactions with him, he probably couldn't even hurt a fly. I don't see the point of killing animals for fun. Like, at least eat the venison, you know? Makes me surprised I don't see any rifles mounted on the walls for decoration.
How big are the antlers on that deer anyway?
Really small, nothing to write home about.
Did you know that in the winter, deer, moose, and other mammals who grow antlers will just shake them clean off? Maybe they shot that deer in the spring when it was regrowing them.
Huh. Thanks for the fun trivia. Was it? Back of the clock. I peer at the face of the grandfather clock, running when I notice the hands are missing. I know analog clocks are a thing of the past, but I really like the aesthetics of the ticking clock. There's just something about them that's so cool.
You think so? I feel like they're too inaccurate. If a gear stops turning or the battery dies out, then you have to manually set it again. Digital clocks hook up to the internet so they don't have that problem.
Taylor, you're missing the point. It's about the aesthetics. He lets out a loud grumble, instead of bothering to argue with me. Inspect the painting. Another impressionist painting, this time of a building's facade. It doesn't seem to be the manner, though, so I wonder if this painting has any significance. Do you know if there's any secret passages in the mansion?
I wouldn't doubt it since the Gallaghers had this place built just for them, but I wouldn't know where they are. They're secret for a reason.
Gee, thanks. Try to lift the painting just enough to see if there's anything behind it. There isn't. And we're done here. Hey Taylor, I've looked at everything else aside from the shelf, so I'm gonna check out the books. Any ideas where to start?
Tell me what you're looking at.
I scanned the spines for titles. There's an encyclopedia series, a dictionary, a thesaurus, a Bible, Bible hymns, an assortment of Shakespearean plays. Pull out the old tome of Romeo and Juliet, flip through the yellowed pages. At least try to. The corners of the pages disintegrate in my fingers.
Ha ha! Bingo! I finally got a match on that painting from earlier.
Oh yeah? Who is it? Slide the book in my hand back on the shelf before hazarding a seat on one of the couches. Moments later, Taylor texts me an old black and white photo.
Check it out. That's Mama Gallagher herself. Mildred loved to host tea parties and dances at the manor. Always made a grand show of the family bling while she was at it.
I don't blame her. She's very beautiful.
She was the envy of the land until that Gallagher curse killed her. Anyways, that's one mystery solved. Think there's anything else in here?
Let's head up and check the shelf again. Ooh, there's a children's picture book here about clowns.
Don't open that!
Okay, nerd. Nothing else really calls out to me. I'm gonna go to the next room over. Pause momentarily. Over?
Roger that.
I looked back into the foyer and stared down the other doors. A map of this place would really help me right now. Here we go. I pushed past another door at random and peeked my head inside before walking in. There's a modestly sized room with a rectangular wooden table surrounded by chairs, and with a small chandelier on the ceiling. I think this is the dining room. Why do you have 3 lamps? You have the chandelier and you have 2 lamps on either side. I feel like you're overlighting just a smidgen. And on the wall! My guy, you have 5 lamps! I have 1. And even that broke. They're like half works. I think this is the dining room. It seems suited for eating meals here with a large family, or guests at least. And it's in much better condition than the living room.
What else is in there?
Fireplace, table, chairs, lamps. So many lamps. And a fancy looking cabinet. What books in there, looks like.
Take a look around and tell me if there's anything interesting before you indulge in literature again.
Roger that. Fireplace. Head over to the fireplace and start knocking on the walls. There's a secret passage here. No matter where I knock, I don't find any sections that feel or sound different.
No dice.
No dice.
Keep at it, bud. Your dream will come true one day.
That's what we hope for. Inspect the table. It's such a nice table. It's got a lacquered wood finish and everything.
Can you stick to the mission, please?
I am! Hey, I'm doing a lot of walking here. Let me sit down for a moment. Taylor huffs in my ear while I plop down on one of the chairs, which happens to be surprisingly cushy. You know, he never really answered my question from before.
Which one?
About the hypothetical ghost clown servant.
No, we are not talking about clowns!
What if a ghost clown man made you blueberry pancakes in a bid to gain your friendship and trust?
I don't even like blueberries, and waffles are superior in every way. They can hold syrup, melted butter, or whatever you top them with, so you lose less to your plate.
But can't you just dip it? But Taylor, I keep telling you, you need to lay your face down a fresh stack of fluffy pancakes at least once in your life. It's like being hugged by a litter of puppies.
I am not putting food on my face, or my face into food. No, end of conversation. Get back to the mission.
Boo! I look my tongue in annoyance, and he looks back. Let's do the 900 lamps. I could use more light in here. These lamps are probably dead, aren't they? Yeah. They're just as dead as Elias. I wonder if collectors would go wild over such antique light bulbs.
Of all the things in this mansion, you're thinking of stealing the light bulbs?
What? You want me to walk out of here with the table?
Fair enough.
I held one of the lamps in my hand and tried to twist the light bulb off, but it doesn't budge. Scratch that. We're not gonna bother.
Hey, want to know another fun fact? Thomas Edison didn't actually invent the light bulb. He bought the patent from 2 dudes named Henry Woodward and Matthew Evan.
I think we could put bought in quotes, but yeah.
Edison was able to claim fame thanks to the fact that he had enough capital to finance improvements to the design.
So the moral of the story is the rich get richer and the poor stay starving.
My point was that popular history gets written by the winners, but that works too.
Finish looking. The trivia master. Nothing else to look at but the cabinet
Let
now.
me know what you find.
I kneel down by the floor and inspect the books on the bottom. They seem to be cookbooks of various European cuisines, Irish, Polish, Dutch, so forth. No dessert cookbooks here. But maybe they're behind the glass.
Right, Elias wanted to bake a cake for you. Would he even be able to eat it?
He did have a tea set in the study, so maybe it's like food offerings for the departed.
Can you say that again? I think the line's cutting out again.
Ooh, Elias, I said. There's static in the earpiece. Suddenly overcome with dizziness. I groan while trying to get back upright, or in the back of the chair for balance. I wonder if it's the mom, like, just slapping. Suddenly my vision darkens and the room spins. My feet cannot touch the ground. I am falling down into the yawning abyss. I open my eyes. Behind me, the chandelier starts swaying and the fireplace roars to life. And I'm freezing. Like there's ice slushy through my veins again. It's horrible and I'm scared. It's definitely the same dining room, but everything feels wrong. I grip the chair harder and lift my head. That was a mistake. It is Mama! Hey, honey. He hastened the glass of the cabinet as the figure of a woman. She's so far away. She's coming closer and closer and closer. The knife in her hand, the Cheshire cat grin painted on her lips. Dripping with bloodlust, her needle-like gaze makes a pinboard of me. I can't breathe. I have to get out of here. How do I escape? Acting defiance, I spin in the opposite direction and try to make a break for it. But my feet are cemented in place.
Hey, can you hear me? Answer if you can hear me!
Get away from me! I just give out and I collapse back into the chair.
Are you okay? Were you attacked?
Not physically.
Static took over the line again, and I heard something garbled from your end. Some kind of whispering or chanting? Was that you?
No, that wasn't me. I feel a deep gasp of air, trying to rein my breath as Taylor's voice rings in my ear.
Hey, what did you see?
DuPont. Violet DuPont. Spit the name without thinking. No, whoever I saw was a woman. Was it really Violet?
I'm starting to think there are some other spirits in this mansion besides Elias. Why else would there be interference when he's not even in the room?
Goodness. Are you quite alright?
Look up to the sound of Elias's voice.
Why do you look so pale?
Oh, my sweet Elias. I simply am I gonna tell him that I had a vision of someone? Probably the woman he's supposed to marry, charging at me with a knife. It simply feels as though 1,000 years have passed since I last saw you, my love, and I began to feel a bit lonely. Taylor groans on the other side as I fake a pacifying grin.
It's been like, what? 20 minutes tops?
Forgive me for leaving you to your own devices for so long, dearest. I am here now, so there is no need to linger in the despair of solitude.
My gratitude, Elias. But surely my pain is nothing compared to your own.
Worry not, my love. For my years in the flesh prepared me for such an existence. I am not forgotten.
Could be my imagination, but I see a flicker of pain in his eyes for a moment. If he's trying to convince himself of that last bit.
Why, even before you came to me, there would be the occasional visitor to my manor. None quite so welcome, mind you. Most were in a stupefied, intoxicated state. Good entertainment, but not the company I'd choose to spend the rest of my waking moments with. Unlike you, my love.
Oh, well.
Man, this guy is just... ugh.
Taylor, you don't understand romance, okay? He's trying his best. I try my hardest not to roll my eyes at Taylor's unnecessary commentary. Let's not linger in such irrelevant matters, then. Shall we resume our preparation for the ceremony?
Why, yes, a splendid idea.
Elias moved toward the glass cabinet, with the bounce in his float. Swinging the doors open, he starts humming.
Our wedding shall be oh so fine. The layer cake most of all, unforgettable. Nana's baking divine, and when paired with white wine, to not taste it would be quite regrettable.
Why are we rhyming?
Oh, though I do miss her cream pies as well. Shame those aren't quite appropriate for a wedding.
Wasn't there, like, a YouTuber? I think it was one of the Try Guys. I think it was Keith, who had pies at his wedding. Like, isn't that acceptable? Like, no matter what it is.
Oh my god! Did he just say cream pie?
Taylor, your head out of the gutter. I'll make you cry.
She wrote the recipe in a manner such that you could make it in any sort of flavor, so long as you had the proper ingredients. Say, what flavor shall our cake be, my dear?
Oh, I'm not a confectionery guy. Oh, there's so many options to choose from, aren't there? I simply can't decide. What do you suggest, dearest? Well, I thumbs the spines of the cookbooks with a little more focus.
I was quite partial to Earl Grey myself, but vanilla is always agreeable no matter the party. Though perhaps a delicate lemon with hints of lavender.
Is something the matter, Elias?
I must have misplaced grandmother's dessert recipes. I can't find them.
Aw. Elias lowers his hands from the cabinet and sighs, crestfallen.
Where did I leave them? I know I have seen it within the past decade at least.
Hey, here's our chance to look for more clues somewhere else.
Taylor makes a good point. Perhaps I could assist you in your search. With 2 sets of eyes, I'm sure we'll find your grandmother's recipes in no time.
I am loath to ask my betrothed to make up for my mistakes, but yes, I would appreciate your help.
Do you have any inkling of an idea of where you may have left them?
Unfortunately not. I do know that it must be in the manor, however. None of my possessions have left the grounds. I will investigate the common room. Take care where you may search, and be cautious of the second floor. I have done my best to stabilize the structure, but it does take quite some energy.
Understood, my love. May we find your grandmother's recipe soon. Elias bows before he takes his leave through the door. I released a breath I didn't realize I was holding.
Is he finally gone?
Looks like I can look around on the second floor now. Where should we start?
Well, you never got to hunt around the study since Elias was hanging out in there. But I wonder if you can find his bedroom.
Creep. Taylor pauses. When he speaks again, I could hear his voice waver.
We also have no idea what caused that vision you saw earlier.
Should I return to the study? Search for Elias' bedroom. Stay here in the dining room where I saw that vision. It can only be in one place at a time. Well, with this truly difficult decision, I'm going to go ahead and end this episode here. I'm going to let y'all choose our adventure. That's what I'll do. Y'all can choose, and then next time we'll pick it and see where it goes. So anyway, thank you very much for watching, and hopefully I will see you later.